Excuse me. All right, good evening, everybody. System Chalk here for, I think, the 7th episode of the story of Lord Percival Stabbe, the physician. So, in the previous episode, if I recall correctly, Connie successfully evaded a snare, which has increased her resentment. She has also become more powerful, so she's now along in the making. Opportunities to ascend to the House of the Sun are rare. If another achieves it, I may miss my chance. If this reaches 7, your rival has a chance to win the game instead of you at the next season of Ambitions. Actually, interestingly enough, so what happened here? So, I'm wondering what the deal is. I would have assumed that this number would have gone up if Connie had succeeded. Anyways, it's beside the point. We are still going to try and recruit her, but we may need to eliminate her instead. I think I said I was going to go after the Hebe Stanton. We will try and check out Karashim at some point, but probably better to clear out the locations before I do anything else. Also, in a few minutes, I should deal with Spencer Hobson, if nothing else, to avoid the Season of Suspicion, or alternatively to just outright turn him. But first things first, the Hebe Stanton. Battered but surprisingly plush steamer, much used by actors fleeing scandal, by shy millionaires, by occult scholars who feel safer when moving water under them, and just once by the Legia Club, who chartered the whole ship for the use of 7 cabins. Now we're short on summons, so we will bring Victor in. It is rare for passenger vessels to visit the grim island where the Hebe Stanton is docking, but we can charter a fishing boat and trust the sea behaves. The real work of passing guards and doors will begin if we get on board. Okay. So yeah, the plan is right now to try and gain as much edge knowledge as we can. Betty's blade is helpful, but it's not going to be enough for us to do the work we really want. I've done some good. My patients are quieter than when I began. In fact, the biggest thing here is we need the lore. 6 lore is alright, but we really need 21 to be able to get where we want. So I suppose if I could find 15 edge lore somewhere, I would be able to really do what I want. But clearly that's not going to be happening. Alright, so Jennings looks like he would like a heart commission this time around. Let's talk with Dr. Adim and see what he wants. Again, I just need to make sure that we don't have the Season of Suspicion. We need to make sure Hobson's not on the board when the Season of Suspicion starts. And a very substantial lantern commission, which we can fulfill. Now, normally I would use the talk verb for something else, but it's 30 seconds. I don't have anything to turn in. I don't have anything that I can use the talk verb for in a short period of time. So I'm going to just wait a little while, and then we'll talk with Spencer Hobson with the lantern. Wait a minute, where'd my lantern lore go? Ah. Well, that complicates things. Okay, I have a plan for that. Winter. A summoning is the best option here. Okay. So I'm going to try something. Let's bring Neville, and if I just brought... summon one of the Voiceless Dead. Okay, is this what I want? I don't think I have enough for a Maid in the Mirror. Yeah, why not? These are the dead who do not descend or ascend, but who remain in the mantis and dream of winter. The power of winter, along with a little of heart's warmth, will draw them here. Actually, let me just double check that one more time. The icy atmosphere is 6. So you know what? No, we'll be able to get past the. Be able to get past the dread. All right. So this is the puzzle with missing pieces. I might find those pieces in odd corners of scholarship. So really, what I'm trying to do here, under normal circumstances, I would take the fascination, but we don't have any fascination right now. So the next step is going to be we wait for this timer to work, to run down, and then we talk with Spencer Hobson, and hopefully by then we've sort of lost... I mean, again, it would be wonderful if I had a fascination to bring in. Yeah, so we'll work at the Institute. But as a second best, I'm just going to get access to a lantern lore and try and use that to push Hobson over the edge. Okay, the expedition continues. Our expedition plans for the next challenge. It'll consume funds. I can add funds now, or I can send another follower. So let's add funds for the start. So I think it'll be funds, Valsine, and then Rose. Three, two, one. Okay. I'm gonna chat with Hobson. Okay, now I gotta be careful of the chilly atmosphere. The sick room grows close and stale. Time to get up. Okay, this is complicated. Let's go through the stag door, because that might get me a fascination. Now I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with the chilly atmosphere, because that is gonna become a problem. Actually, what would have been better would to use the... I should have used the passionate memory, and that would have helped me mitigate the dread. Okay, so unless I can come up with a fascination in 26 seconds, that's... Oh, wait. Yeah, it's silent intensity, so that's not going to help. The sailor's strength. We are practical souls, strong in forge. Will probably be fine. Let's make that a little bit more. All right, the sailor's surety. Our forge skills represent plenty of expertise. We'll almost certainly make it through. Safe across the sea, wave-lashed and sea-spattered, sun-scorched and salt-stained, but here. Okay, and I need 20 seconds. I'm probably not going to be able to do anything to Hobson. Yeah, that doesn't help. Can you bribe him? That would be kind of funny. I've done some good. My patients are quieter than when I began. Alright, it's a little late for this, but let's see... Right. Winter is the aspect of silence, of endings, and of those things that are not entirely dead. If I add knock, I might be able to... summoning. If I add lantern, I can attempt a foolish, beautiful magic. Okay, yeah. So, if I try the weakest lantern I can, with at least 5 winter and 1 lantern, I could beseech the hour of endings, the sun and rags to destroy someone. Not someone in particular. The sun and rags does not choose. So I guess the question is, how dangerous do I think dread is? Do I think it's dangerous enough that I might lose someone that I need, or... I think in this case here we'll play it safe. I do have some... I have some time, so let's study the heart. I'm just trying to think if there's something that I can do with the talk verb right now to... I don't think we have any poison. I don't think Betty's blade is going to help here. I obviously can use my matchless physique, but that's not smart. An adversary. There's always someone who doesn't understand or who understands too well. This troublemaker may seek evidence on my activities to share with the authorities. All right, yet another one. Dr. Natalia Dragon. She was laughed out of academia for her analysis of alternate histories, and it only made her more resolute. Now she works for the Suppression Bureau. Okay. Yeah, 30 seconds is not going to help me. I think I'm just going to eat the notoriety from this talk. Perhaps I could parlay, perhaps I could send something to ambush them. Neither. This was rash. Perhaps I shouldn't have exposed myself, so... Okay. I am going to need contentment. In the interim... Well, I'm doing a commission, so let's leave the talk verb open for now. Season of Ambitions will be fine. And the Painted River. There's a great chamber in the Mansis through which the Painted River flows. The vagabond, it is claimed, painted it from memory in the years before she left the house. Certainly, there are histories concealed in its design. I traced them with my hand last night. There were fragments of aquamarine paint beneath my nails, flecks of gold leaf when I was done. Okay, so we've got a few troubles ahead of us, but nothing... There are some things that I can handle here. So we are going to keep going to the stag door for the time being. We've got the money. We also have the forge for the door, so it's just a matter of getting rid of the guardians. So we'll add Rose for this expedition now. And the next step really is trying to turn Hobson and Lady Dragon. Well, then there's the whole... actually, no, Bittersweet Memory would have made Dread, so... Alright, my studies have been stymied for now, so in this case, I actually think it makes more sense for me to try and get that Fascination to level up the Fenian Invocation. Although I suppose if I use one of these... You know what? Let's chat with Hobson with the Fenian Invocation. That'll get me the Fascination to upgrade it, so... Next up, the Thirsting Tantra. C.G. Burial, the Temperance campaigner, published elements of this in a pamphlet, which had to be withdrawn and destroyed after it became too popular. A disquisition on the many varieties of thirst, their uses, and their effects. Our strength is matchless. The Watchers will almost certainly regret standing against us. Okay, so Janning's commission is done, although it's going to take a while because we're having a chat with Spencer Hobson, but we can work on Dr. Adim's commission next. This may be useful for a commission. So, moving along, obviously you can sort of get an idea. I've talked a little bit less of sort of the temperament of this character, but as you can see, this is considerably more driven than the previous run that we had here. This is somebody who will kind of follow the shortest path to what they want. Now, the good news here is that we don't have any expeditions for Zachary to pillage. I believe this will give me a fascination now. Oh, no, sorry, it's erudition if it's forge. The Painted River runs from a great chamber near the White Door, far through the Mansis, to its far edge where it enters a painted delta of far cloud. I voyaged half its length last night with a stern-faced captain beneath a rust-red sail. As the clouds rose before us, the sailors raised a yearning shanty and close-hauled the sails to best use the painted wind. And all the while, the captain and I discoursed on the secrets of the House of the Sun. Okay, so Fascination is coming up in 17 seconds. Still nothing to do with Dream. I mean, I can roll the dice to try and get some contentment, but let's just go back through the door. And there's another who would ascend before me. Independent occultist will try to monopolize the attention of the hours. This looks like it's an effort to try and kill Dr. Natalia Dragon. Okay, Visions of Glory. Your account is too much for the hunter. Their eyes grow wide and bright. Their smile becomes dreamy. In the days to come, they will forsake everything they once knew. So, we now have another renegade. Spencer Renegade. For so long, Spencer flirted with these possibilities, and now he's made his decision. Okay, so Natalia Dragon will be the next target for that, but we do want to make sure that we're able to upgrade it. All right, the Thirsting Tantra. The Tantra describes how the satisfaction of thirsts may allow a mortal to rise into the service of a thirsting power, but warns of the consequences of rejecting those rarer thirsts for common ones. A man who thirsts, O mighty one, whose mind clings to actions in this world, will return to this world of action from that other place. So, Athakic Invocation. This will allow us to move up higher with Grail, and we have the Seas Fasting, which we already have as a ritual. Okay. This is normally where I would combine the Fenian invocations, but we're using one to write a commission right now. So for now, we'll just sort of sit tight. Actually, we don't need to sit tight. We can turn in with Jannings. I have what was requested. And in 10 seconds, we'll do the upgrade. We don't have a Season of Visions coming up, so I'm a little lucky there. I received the currency of the secret world, and my patron has let tantalizing information slip. So if we want to try and get rid of reputation, it's going to be a little hard, but I think we've kind of closed that as a possibility. Right now we're just trying to eliminate hunters. All right. So very substantial investigation on Lantern. We'll turn that in right now. And we will double up the Fenian Invocation. Now we do want to do something to get rid of this fascination, because it will likely breed. Alright, here's another Who Would Ascend Before Me. We already did that. Arrival intends to end a hunter. This may be to my advantage, but it may also draw attention. Let's go back to the Institute. We don't have any research to do right now. Now, I can't use Dread to get rid of this, but a fleeting reminiscence will help. So right now we're just going to wait before speaking with Natalia Dragon. Although I suppose while we wait, we can still roll the dice and try and get rid of some of the notoriety. What's up next? Another Season of Ambitions. We call upon the Forge of Days, who will end all nights. I believe this gets me a fascination, but here we can get the percussivant again, so... In sleep I ran my fingers along the ridged edges of the stag door's scars. Our company it was that shattered it, Gearby says suddenly. Before the gods who were flesh, the mantis was forbidden to mortals. We were the first no. He begins again to weep his molten tears. I wish that we had not. I wish that I had died in the world. I've forgotten what else he said, but I remember the shape of the fissures in the stag door, and for all of today, doors will fear my touch. So, I'm going to take the Subtle Rupture and use that in a ritual almost immediately. And we don't have any hostages or any prisoners, and we're not going to be getting any anytime soon, so we will just keep going back through the stag door. The stag door is the Adept's Gate. To pass through it is to be initiated into the first true mystery of the House of the Sun. The head Gearby weeps to see me enter where it cannot, but it must let me pass. The scarred valves of the door grind open. And yeah, sorry, we'll almost certainly shatter this warded door. And if we don't, I don't think we lose people, but we will lose money. All doors must open as all lives must end. This door has found its end here today. Alright, so they're trying to get rid of Dr. Dragon. I kind of hope it fails, because it would be really neat if I could have all of the... hunters as a... in my cult at some point. Although, again, we are a long way off of that from that. Okay, so here we'll take a Subtle Rupture. Oops. Let's grab Heart, and then Edge. So Eldridge is the only one available. Summon a creature of the Thunderskin. The Percussivant, merciless and merry. Heart will bring it, Edge will constrain it. And there's the Fascination for the Illumination Challenge. Rival intends to end a hunter. This may be to my advantage, but it may also draw attention. I have no idea what the success rate on that is. I'm assuming it's low, but who knows? Oh, this is a lucky one. I mean, it won't matter because the notoriety is going to emerge out of that, but... Another season of ambitions. Ooh, and a season of suspicion. All right, lots of activity tonight. I believe this is Ed. Let's do that as a precaution. Oh, nope. Grail. It's difficult to control oneself. The Ascent of Knives is called the Sharp Stare and the Mother of Mirrors and the Feast of the Grail. If one is to look beneath the stare, as I did last night in my dreams, one understands that last name. It draws a tithe of blood from the feet of those who ascend. In Pausai, some shaped like men, many shaped like women, wait beneath the glass of the stairs to satisfy their hunger. I did not approach. I made no sound. I only observed. Okay, so again, in the absence of a means to either go further past the spider's door or either we want to go up to the final gate, or we want to get to the spider's door. But because I don't have the tools to do that right now, I'm just going to keep going through the stag door. It doesn't always have something that I need, but at the very least, if we get a bunch of forbidden epics, it's just raw material for me to level up. I mean, at some point too, I can try and get rid of, or I can move headquarters, but we're not quite at that point yet. There's still plenty of books for me to read. No one understands us, or else they understand us too well. Well, easy come, easy go. Let's stay put, because I want to try and spook Natalia Dragon if I can. A cozy nest. There are few passengers on board. No wonder if this cheerless icy isle was the ship's destination. But there's at least one passenger, someone who had protected their cabin door with more than physical locks. They must have gone ashore. They might return at any moment. And let's get a commission from Jennings. We should also be able to get one from Dr. Redeem before too long. And new colors. I've begun to notice colors in the world for which I have no name. Alright, first the thump, then the rattle and cry of the ceremonies it attends in the wood. Now here it is, shouldering its way through the world's skin like a clawed and ruthless uncle or a headless flapping bear. So, Pergusigan's actually a little harder to hang on to right now because we don't have any expeditions to go on, and I'm probably going to go to the Ecdysis Club next, but... Alright, what happened here? So for whatever reason, I suspect it may be because of the attempted murder. So someone failed to murder a hunter. This may ultimately bring the Suppression Bureau to my door. Okay, well, unfortunate, but let's move on. My best bet is to go back to the Institute to keep myself in cash. And yes, 3.5 seconds, so we are going to be able to scare, well, not scare, but we are going to be able to use the new lore on Natalia Dragon. So I'm going to try and ride this out as long as I can, as I am wont to do. So I could have tried to get a commission from Dr. Redeem, but a 10-second wait is a little scary. So send a potent minion to murder a hunter. My minion is powerful. This hunter is unlikely to survive, but the attempt will draw attention. Now we're not actually trying to kill them. I'm just preserving them. And this is the important thing here. If I talked with the Pergusigan, then Natalia Dragon would have been moved into the slot here, but because I've already locked in one of the participants, they can't move out. All right, old and happy far off things. This recommends painting, which might mean that I get a contentment out of that. We empty luggage, upend books to shake them, turn pictures to check the backs. We find clothes, tickets, maps, nothing out of the ordinary, although there is a curious translucent material like a sheet of snakeskin draped over a chair back. At last, when we slash the mattress to search its stuffing, we find a little collection of ivory scroll cases. So, more notoriety. Okay, there's the Callagine. And we're going to get a bunch of tantras. So, fire circle, Incandescent, Ceaseless, and the Leonine, which is kind of the highest priority right now. But all of these are going to require translation. Okay, so I guess the question is, how quickly do I want to go to the Ecdysis Club? Not all that quick. Oh, Season of Vision's coming up. I think we get hit by that no matter what. Rats. Okay. Then yes, the Ecdysis Club, no matter what. The entrance is lost beneath soft drapes of crimson cinnabar and incardinite. Above the door, the club's motto, Ingi rum imis nocteat consumi marigni. It has been rendered as, into the night circle we fly until the fire enjoys us. Nightly pleasures at the Cabaret Club, the drinks, the songs, the light, the arching walls, the smoke-blue haze, the press and sway of clothed and unclothed flesh. So, the idea here is I want to do something to get rid of the Season of Despair. Now, the fact of the matter is that this is going to go away... Actually, no, it's going to go away in 51 seconds, so that's going to be a fleeting reminiscence that if I leave the dream slot open, I can get rid of one of the fascination. So that means that if I let this old unhappy far-off things turn into despair, while I will be hit by the Season of Visions, I will automatically have something to get rid of it. That's probably the right way to handle it. Alright. I think I can get away with the Painted River because it gives me erudition. I'm ready to improve. The Painted River runs from a great chamber near the White Door, far through the mansis to its far edge where it enters a painted delta of far cloud. I voyaged half its length last night with a stern-faced captain beneath a rust-red sail. As the clouds rose before us, the sailors raised a yearning shanty and close-hauled the sails to best use the painted wind. And all the while, the captain and I discoursed on the secrets of the House of the Sun. Now, actually, it just occurred to me there is going to be another danger that comes from the Season of Visions, because I'm going to use... I'm actually going to use a fascination. So, here we go. I've increased my mastery of the glorious lore, which we call by its aspect lantern. So, formula concursit. The concursum awaits at the lantern of the mansis. It has been called the Chamber of Ways and also the Chamber of Endings. Its intricacies are probably beyond human comprehension, but these formula are the first approximation. Okay, so I'm going to keep the percussive around for a little while, but we'll take the formula concursit, and we will use that on Natalia Dragon. Now, what else am I trying to... Excuse me. What else am I trying to do here? Contentment's coming out of the Cabaret Club, so that's going to go into the Despair, and I'm going to need to be quick on the pause button, but we're going to be able to get rid of one of the fascination that way. This one is good for another 100 seconds. Oh, no, this is good for another 100 seconds, so it's going to hit us no matter what. Yeah, we're just going to take it on the chin. So the Ivory... So I really want to read the Leonine Tantra, but the Ivory book's actually the most important for me right now. So let's translate that. That's because it's going to give me a dread, and right now I'm safe from dread. So, lock the study door, the work begins. Now, sorry, I'm not safe from dread right now, but I will be in a little bit. I've purchased pleasure, I reel home in the ungodly hours and collapse into bed. So the next question is, what do I want to do with the explore verb? I don't think there's any reason for me to try to use it for, Oriflammes or the Ecdysis Club or whatever, so I am going to try and find more locations. In this case, I actually think a Furtive Truth is in order, because we still need a Karashim Drill. A half-glimpse wistfulness has touched me. So, yeah, we have a minute before that's going to turn into dread. An adversary, there's always someone who doesn't understand or who understands too well. This troublemaker may seek evidence on my activities to share with the authorities. And the weary detective's back. This gentleman would much rather be left alone with his pipe and his illustrated London news. But no, apparently some conjurer of abominations has to be hunted down like a mad dog. And apparently no one else can find the time. So, we missed you. Alright. So normally I would have painted with the restlessness, but that's not in line with my fascination plans. So I think the Institute still makes... No, sorry, commissions. Switch that out. We'll take the formula concursit. Share the brighter invocations of the glorious lore. The door in the eye navigates. He is not merciful, but first and always he illuminates. Listen and be illuminated. You're kidding me. All right. Well, there's still nothing to be done with it. So. Your count is too much for the hunter. Their eyes grow wide and bright. Their smile becomes dreamy. In the days to come, they will forsake everything they once knew. Okay, so now Natalia, renegade. Natalia has learnt truths that were too long hidden. In consequence, she has adjusted her agenda. So, there's too much fascination on the board right now. This is actually a game-losing amount. But we do have the weary detective. And we do have an opportunity to talk about the colder invocations of the ragged lore, so that's exactly what we're going to do. There's a power that commemorates and grieves, from whom nothing is taken, but who cannot be deceived. I will tell you that power's name. Listen to me. Actually, we're in much better shape than it seemed. So we've got a fleeting reminiscence here, so we use this to get rid of this fascination. This one's going to go away on its own in 41 seconds, so the restlessness, the dread that comes from the restlessness will actually take care of this one. So we're actually going to be up a dread, believe it or not. And so the ivory book actually isn't as important as it was before. So we are going to translate the Leonine Tantra. In the most notorious translation of the Leonine Tantra, Ashley Phillips is listed as the translator, but their existence is explicitly denied in the prologue. This confusion is characteristic of books which mention the Great Hooded Princes. Alright, this place merits closer investigation. Karishim, and in this case we're going to go straight to it because I'm going to lose my summons if I just keep them hanging around like this. So this is the one that Connie managed to get to before us. In future, I'm going to need, until I start recruiting these people, I am going to need to make sure that we don't have a season of ambitions coming up before I start exploring locations, but for now this is a safe one. Slink along the streets to a once fine townhouse, surreptitiously case the back garden. Odd stories circulate about the woman who lives here. She might be an adept, or a collector, or even a rare thing called empausa. We must be watchful. Should probably work at the Institute for a little bit. We're okay funds-wise, but that is definitely gonna get eaten up quite a bit faster than I think. Okay. Thank you, Jennings. Go back to working at the Institute. I mean, the amount of notoriety we have isn't all that threatening. It's enough. It is enough to put me away, but okay. Forge and knock. Edge, heart, and winter. Ah, okay. The heart. Oh no, the heart's gonna be fine. So we'll add Victor, as is traditional. Alright, yes, there are terrible things in the world, but that's the more reason to resist them. I should thank you. You've shown me what I must do. This hunter has become tenacious and an idealist. Okay. Well, throw the formula concursit at them. The door in the eye navigates. He is not merciful, but first and always he illuminates. Listen and be illuminated. So this isn't necessarily going to work every time, so we may be signing ourselves up for a world of pain, but it is going to be something that helps me get rid of the dread, so yay me. In the meantime, let's go back through the stag door. There's nothing really for the dream slot right now. And we've prepared the Leonine Tantra for study, so same text. The Tantra describes elliptically the great hooded princes and the multitudinous ways in which they influenced wars against foreign invaders in the land of the Great River, although in a sense they were also invaders. So again, our objective right now is to try and get as much edge lore specifically as we can. Now, this might mean that we want to eventually subvert some lore. That is definitely an option. But right now, I want to sort of take advantage of the existing texts that I already have. Let's add a funds right now. That's going to turn into a fleeting reminiscence. Oh, you know what? I should have been a little more careful. I could have, I actually could have tried something on the Weary Detective just before the season of Suspicion. That's not going to be what happens. What is going to happen is this is going to be decided before they. Well, sorry, just shortly after. So they're going to become available, and if it doesn't turn out. Your count is too much for the hunter. Their eyes grow wide and bright. Their smile becomes dreamy. In the days to come, they will forsake everything they once knew. Douglas, a troublemaker. Douglas isn't having any more of it. Time to see what the fuss is all about. All right, so we're doing a very good job of corrupting hunters. There'll probably be another Weary Detective before too long. But I'm curious if Douglas is easier to... Nope, 21st. Okay, so let's talk with Dr. Adim about a commission. And we'll wait the 6 seconds for the dream slot to become available. I'm assuming we just get another Weary Detective out of this. There's a great chamber in the mansus through which the painted river flows. The vagabond, it is claimed, painted it from memory in the years before she left the house. Certainly, there are histories concealed in its design. I traced them with my hand last night. There were fragments of aquamarine paint beneath my nails, flecks of gold leaf when I was done. Okay, so fleeting reminiscence, but we're not going to use that to get rid of the fascination. I am, however, going to use it to throw a lantern at the whatever hunter comes after us next. And Dr. Adim would like a big lantern commission. Lions can be created, not as children are created, nor as words are created, but as weapons are created. The great hooded princes learnt to create lions from their spyings on the affairs of the hours, and not all lions now serve the Golden General. So this is the best edgelore that we've gotten so far, the Colonel's names. The Colonel has been many things in many ages. He is blind, he is deaf, he cannot be wounded, he cannot be denied. His names are cunning, as only the very old can be. So this is a big deal for us. We have got level 8 with the Colonel's names, and we've got level 8 with Betty's blade. So if I recall correctly, this might be enough to upgrade Rose. Yes, so we can now make some assassins. Attempt to exalt a disciple to an assassin. Only a rare few, those most suited to service in our mysteries, may achieve this rank. And study-wise, I'm going to do something a little unusual here. I'm actually going to go for the Incandescent Tantra first, just because the Ivory Book may not be something I want to mess with right now. So this will be something that gets my forge up, which we've wanted to do in the past. So Michael Blockley, an eccentric iron magnate, was fond of quoting from this tantra. Blockley died in a factory fire. And the watchers end. Their blood pumps bright, then dark. They should not have opposed us. We move on. So, this is... eventually we'll need to worry about the forge, but here let's add a heart follower. So, Dorothy jumps on the front line. Sorry, only a rare few, those most suited to the service in our mysteries, may achieve this rank. It also occurred to me that I kind of gave up the whole upgrading disciples to believers. Alright, there's always someone who doesn't understand or understands too well. This troublemaker may seek evidence on my activities to share with the authorities. Call upon the Forge of Days who ends what will not change. Oh, I thought we already added Valsine. So we call upon the Forge of Days who will end all nights, will almost certainly shatter this warded door. Okay, Season of Despair coming up, so I want to be a little careful about what I throw at the weary detective now. But it would not be a bad time to maybe consider another expedition. In the meantime, though, let's go back through the stag door, and we will... Alright, as the linesmith knelt to the colonel, so now I kneel. My service ends in death, or in the resolution of strengths. The night before Rose meets her subject, the subject will receive a package with a single yellow rose. Okay, and let's bring Eldridge into that higher level as well. Prepare the text for study. So let's bring the incandescent tantra in. Dialogues in which an entity called the Crucible Prince, dialogues with an entity called the Crucible Prince. The prince warns about the appetites of his mistress, the Burning Queen, and the peril of the naked desire she shares with the sun, but professes his loyalty nonetheless. I probably should have talked with Jannings. Oh well. The death of a door. All doors must open as all lives must end. This door has found its end here today. So where did I... Oh, I didn't do the commission yet. I probably should get on that. Alright, so we'll throw some lantern at our problems. And again, we know we'll get past this, but it's not clear whether or not the Fifth Eye Curse is going to affect us, so we'll be on the lookout. Right, mirrors are calm, the sun is steady, the glory recedes. I'm sane, if that means anything. Season of Suspicion coming up, so this would not be a bad time to try and mess with the weary detective. I think this becomes winter. Oh no, this is Edge. Of the place my dreams took me last night, this has been written. The ascent is glass, the walls are knives, each step is blood. I did not climb far, the pain was too great. When I woke, that pain remained with me. A pain I could employ to occult purposes if I hurry. So normally this should be something I'm kind of excited about, but the drawback is that if I try to recruit a troublemaker, it needs to be the combination of influence and lore, so we're still 3 short, which means I need to have a higher level of influence or 2 levels higher of lore. I think we'll actually cool it on the dream slot for now. Eldridge is never seen with a spot of blood upon his person. Not a spot. So just to maybe Okay. But yeah, so it says 21st degree, so we bring the trappings in. Colonel's name's still not enough. 18. So I gotta hit the books. Which, I mean, makes sense. Like, it's, again, this is new stuff to me, so it's interesting. But I think one of the ways that I sort of try and make sense of this is to say, you know, somebody who is equivalent to you in the fact that they're able to kind of go on expeditions and try and improve their own understanding of this world and, you know, its mysteries and potentially ascend themselves. You probably aren't going to throw in with just anyone. You're probably going to throw in with somebody who's actually demonstrated that they can take you further than maybe you've been able to yourself. And I think that's one of the reasons why the requirement's so high. And then also mechanically, I'm sure it's not very fun if you can't, or if you can just, you know, eliminate renegades that quickly. A rite which changes is necessarily a rite which destroys, but a great change requires a destruction of savage extent. So, the Chalidate Invocation. The names of the Forge have all spoken these words. Use this in a rite with knock influence and a bone flute, or other resources of equal power to summon the Callagine. Oop, that's 2 higher. Now, I can never remember subvert. So if I bring it in here... Wait, study the Forge lore fragment of the same level to upgrade it to the next level. Study with Edge of the same level to subvert it and get Edge lore instead. Aha! So, yes. I'm not quite ready to take this option, but that is interesting. I think probably upgrading the Smith's Secret, then the Ardent Orson, then taking this operation, upgrading that, and then upgrading the Colonel's names is probably the path I want to follow on that front. But we've got texts that we can already be working with, so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me to put that extra effort into messing with the lore I already have when I can just simply read fresh books to get additional information. So I have what was requested, and do I want to read the Ivory book right now? Maybe after yeah, you know what, I'll be fine. A manual of the Order Lemea, a order of quasi-immortals who maintained a secret enclave on the at the source of the river Limia in the Roman province of Hispania Gallicaea. This manual was compiled by one Kurnai, who claims to have fled the tyranny of the Chrysanthemum throne to cross the world and join the Ordo. Members of the Ordo took an oath, the Ivory Chain, not to have commerce with the Hours. Followed literally, this would be almost impossible for an adept, so the manual contains numerous clarifications, exceptions, and processes of indulgence. So this is going to tranquilize the fascination that I get from trying to push away the weary detective. Call upon the Ring-Yu who is renewed. Yes, we are strong enough in heart to be almost entirely secure against the curse. So an Iron Spintrea erudition. Mystique doesn't really mean a whole lot to me right now, but a good day's work nonetheless. We'll wait on... oh, actually, we should be able to do this Forge commission now. So we'll wait on the Lantern before talking to Dr. Redeem. Actually, we may not have enough time to do that and still mess with the weary detective, so... Nope, we got 2 seconds. I have what the doctor requested. So again, we're not really using the dream slot right now, but I am fairly quickly going to use use it with the lantern that I wind up earning. Our power is stronger than the power that was here. The curse won't touch us. Alright. I've received the currency of the secret world, and my patron has let tantalizing information slip. So, now we're going to talk to the weary detective with the formula concursit. The door in the eye navigates. He is not merciful, but first and always he illuminates. Listen and be illuminated. And what's probably going to happen here is we just wind up with another weary detective on the table, but... And season of sickness coming up, so with that in mind... Well, first of all, let's get the forge done. I'm a little short on money, but... Oh, that didn't generate dread. Okay, well that's fine because we've got the fleeting reminiscence anyway. So Kurenai describes the Order's burial rites, which include spells to ensure, in theory, that the souls of the dead long are not given to the Hours. The Hour, called the Ivory Dove, who memorializes and commemorates, is to be invoked in secret in these rites. For that hour, for with that hour we have made an understanding. So another invocation of the Ivory Dove. I can double these up to get a higher level of winter lore if I want. That's going to cost me silent intensity, which I have, and knowledge. So this one I'm going to need erudition. So actually this is one that I can double up right away. Perhaps I want to give that a shot because I might be using that on the Weary Detective before too long. So now is an opportune time. Normally I wouldn't do this, but in this case I've got the erudition and I have a silent intensity, so both of these work out rather well for me. Alright, I'll just wait for the expedition to finish. Unlimited Weary Detectives. I suppose I can start sending percussigants after them. The last room. Nothing remains to bar our way. Search the cellar first and then the upper rooms. We don't want to be trapped. Yes, I could be something finer, but what we are is less important than what we do. The world is where we live, and I will defend it till I die. You can keep your visions. This hunter has become grim and tenacious. Alright. So first things first, let's get rid of this fascination. And we'll get rid of the more threatening of the two. Actually, I suppose what I should have done was saved it and then well, no, that's fine because I think we anticipated that and we're building scarier we're building scarier lore. So, yeah, we'll just we'll sit tight. Although I could still do my recruitment program. Well, it's a little late for that now, but I am going to get on that. Okay, Season of Despair coming up, so I want to mind my manners. But we have finished the very substantial Forge manuscript, so we'll turn that in with Madame Bichet first. Next up, I think it's high time we started showing up to work again so we can make some money. We still have a little staleness at some point that I want to get rid of. Alright. And hooray for Silver Spintrea. Alright, so this is a puzzle with missing pieces. I must find those pieces in odd corners of scholarship. So we don't have a library yet, but I do have erudition. I guess this is the one that's expiring first. Again, we've got the silent intensity, so we know that we've achieved that objective. I'm going to wait for Jannings and Dr. Adim to become available, and then we'll start recruiting people again. And on the topmost floor is an altar to the sun divided, which could be one of many hours. Sweep the items there displayed into a carpet bag, and let's make haste into the back streets. Alright, icy atmosphere is going to be a little bit of a problem, but not completely unsolvable. Good work, Dorothy. I was kind of hoping we might get a vitality out of that, but... or, well, heart lore. Sorry, heart influence. Okay, we got a spare winged doll and Grey Dawn oil, so two things we already own. But again, we didn't go to Karashim in hopes of finding new things. So, yes, I wanted to talk to Jannings and Nadim, but yes, I want to hang on to my summons even more. So we don't have a rival that's going to be making a move on us. Now is the time to be going to the remaining locations on the continent. It's a good opportunity to do that just because it's relatively quiet on my other fronts. I mean, we have 2 hunters, but that's that's going to be a problem until we can get enough edge lore, so... There it is. Is that it? You have resolved a knowledge challenge. The air is curdled now. I'm home again in the slump and flesh. Better, perhaps. Okay, so the icy atmosphere is going to hit us in an inconvenient moment, potentially. This illness has damaged my health. I will need to rest before I'm fully recovered. So in this case, while I'd prefer not to spend money that I'm getting a little short on, this is the most direct way of dealing with the problem. Again, there are other ways that I can wind up getting money. If it gets desperate, I can convert Gartside's Reader and the Jumble into cash, and then some of my Spintrea as well. But we work at the Institute, so money really shouldn't be a problem. We're also not doing a lot of expeditions right now, so it's we should be fine. I also think as long as the Dread isn't fed, as long as the Bleak Thoughts aren't fed, I believe this Dread will come a moment too late. Okay, the Foreman House. Philip Foreman, the helminthologist and antiquarian, did all his best work here at the family home until the day his subjects escaped. The infestation was destroyed, but Foreman, they say, walks the halls to this day, guarding his library and his shame. So that's going to suggest that we need to bring Winter with us. But as always, you know, we're bringing our 2 summons first, and everything else is secondary. Unquestionably, this bleak mansion is haunted. The last visitors saw and fled the dead before they could touch him with their fraying hands. The visitor before that claimed she saw nothing, but she died of despair exactly one year later to the day. Okay, talking-wise, let's get more disciples into the cult. I think I'm just going to go... I should probably go right to left so that I can have, you know, higher level followers of each type. No, actually, that makes more sense. I was going to say I was going to go top to bottom because that's kind of how it's gone for everyone else. I guess I can bring Victor as an assassin. But after that, right to left until we have one of everything, and then I guess it depends who I like the most. Okay, a challenge. Grim Lessons. This is a puzzle with missing pieces. I might find those pieces in odd corners of scholarship. So I'm not providing dread. I don't need to. And we get a free turn, so that's nice as well. So 3 books that we can translate and read, none of which will have negative side effects. We've got commissions that we can do in 3 of them that we can do in 30 seconds, and we have the materials we need to bring the people who could teach us these languages. Sorry, except for Vac, but I don't know. I don't think I need to worry about that too much. Harder Lantern? Okay, this is a piece of cake. So, sick room goes close and stale. Time to get up. And the Wolf Despair prowls elsewhere. No dread empowers this despair. It's over for now. And Season of Ambition's coming up, so I'm curious what's going to happen. But we don't really have anything we need to worry about at the moment. Okay, can't do commissions because we don't have any yet. Strength is considerable. These dead, with their avid, pitiful eyes, have died once already. Their hold on the waking world is weak. We should be able to send them down into darkness, but we must take care. As the lionsmith knelt to the colonel, so now I kneel. My service ends in death, or in the resolution of strengths. So Victor, an assassin. Victor likes to become acquainted with his subjects, so he can apologize to them personally just before the end. Well, you'll have your chance, Victor. The dead are as pale as inverse shadows, and they move like cobwebs in a breeze. Almost certainly they can't stand before us. We'll send them mumbling back to the shadows of the wood. So if I can, some contentment to get rid of the dread would be nice, but not my highest priority. We are going to talk for commissions first, and then we're going to get Valsine, Eusebet, Caro, and Enid to higher levels. So, Heart Commission. Secret histories. Blinking in the light. Now I understand. And the ragged lore. I have increased my mastery of the ragged lore, which we call by its aspect winter. Recitation of lost hours. 6 are gone, 5 came from stone and 1 from light. All went to nowhere. Still their memories have power, and now we call upon it. So this brings it to... So in terms of what kind of the... By the end of tonight, we have brought ourselves to our highest level with Lantern, Moth, Winter, and Heart. We've also gotten the elusive Edgelore, which has allowed us to move our... basically get our top level followers. So I believe these are Exalted. You can find that by clicking out here. Oh, Disciple. Really? No, yeah, Exalted. So in this case, we now have essentially any edge challenge we have, we can bring 1 follower in, and we can, we'll have our best chance of achieving it. We still need to bring a few more people up to the disciple level. That would be ideal for these 3, just simply because it means that we'll have access to sort of higher level solutions later on. Nobody will be getting to level 10. But even if we have a couple of level 5ers, we'll be able to get up to the 10 intensity required with 2. Now we do have a big problem here in the sense that we've got 5 renegades and then 2 detectives, one of which has become stronger. So this is something we're eventually going to have to deal with. But the way we deal with that is by getting to level 21 lore, and the influence is helpful. Obviously, going through the higher level doors will potentially get me access to higher level influence, but also hitting the books and gaining a greater understanding of Edge is really going to be the way that I accomplish that. So, as usual, the goal really is just a matter of trying to do as many expeditions as possible, try to get that understanding. And because we have these renegades running around, we are going to have a little more difficulty trying to get the expeditions, just because we don't want sort of an unlucky season of ambitions to wind up sort of scooping up an expedition on us. But again, that's not a huge problem, and the slower pace on expedition actually does help me out in terms of being able to earn a little more money at work. Before we finish up, I'm going to start translating a new work, so let's get the true and accurate history of the Shadowless Kings, Eyes of Karth's history of the Shadowless Empire. Dream slot we'll leave open, and the rest of it we can deal with in future. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. If you've not done so, please consider subscribing to the channel, as it does sort of help me grow and keep advertisers happy and YouTube happy, and just generally people seem to react a little bit differently when it comes to larger channels, although I never want to take the existing viewership for granted. Certainly the channel's become quite a bit bigger than I thought it was ever going to as a result of some of this Cultist Simulator stuff. In addition, if you do leave a like, so the likes and I suppose the dislikes, but this does actually help me out in terms of finding out where I'm going right in terms of the different formats, the longer ones. And of course, I always do appreciate your comments, but it does help me, again, it does help me get noticed. So if you can leave those, I do appreciate them. But above all, I am grateful that you're hanging out and that you like my stuff. So if you have just done that, I'm still grateful. I should leave it there. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, which I believe... I've gotten on a weird schedule for recording these, so I think the next one is on a Friday, so probably in 2 days. But as always, please rely on the usual schedule of Wednesdays and Fridays. Anyways, until then.